bridge has their mic left on.
Cranked it up to 3-0.
Roger.
Let's see.
Would you mind asking the bridge if their mic's still hot?
Yeah, it is still hot. Yep, there it is. Check this out. I'll call them.
Watch your eyes, there could be a flash. There's probably definitely going to be a flash.
Bridge nav.
I have to send that to my friends on the other system. So they won't let me do that. I still do, but.
Bridge nav. Could you turn your microphone off?
I'll go
okay,
check.
we'll have a video person come up. Yep. Thanks, Emily.
Sure.
In the Pacific, the equatorial undercurrent can flow at a speed of 1.5 meters per second.
Or 3 knots. That's a 3-knot current.
Yeah, it's faster in the Pacific than it is in the Atlantic.
Yeah. That's a good conversion there you got in your head, Dan. That's, according to my chart, that's accurate.
That's, that looked like about the speed that was sweeping us around.
Yeah.
I would say it was over.
3-knot current just under the surface. Why, that is going to be fun.
So that's technically out of our weather window. Like if that was on the
Okay,
surface,
what am I listening for?
we
No
would
launch.
have to, well, we would have to drift the boat to launch. We'd have to, the boat would have to be moving with the
fish.
current.
Right.
Like
Yeah, I can
boat
hear
in
you.
a
Not sure what
stream.
kind of fish that was.
You know, it runs down the stream, so
Yeah, another Pelagotheria.
the vessel's not moving in relation to the water, even though you're rocketing at 3 knots over the ground.
Right.
But if you, for example, jumped in next to the boat, you would be moving the same speed. It's like riding a river on a raft.
Mm. Yeah,
The
that'll
problem
be.
is we wind up 2 kilometers away from the launch point, and we have to fight it back upstream. So what we'll often do is go upstream from the launch point, and then
Right.
we'll
Get pushed
let
back.
the vessel run with the current.
Here, Annie, you want to zoom out for a minute on high pack just so I can see where we're going to go after this?
Roger.
All fixed.
Oh, that's a relief.
Okay.
And also,
up, and
I
then
never
after
get my
that,
facts
like
from
that.
Wikipedia.
I recommend that.
Targets down here.
Okay. Great, thanks, Annie.
But first thing is going to
Why,
be
what's wrong with
straight up
Wikipedia?
slope.
Transit straight
You
up.
don't
Uh,
like that edit function?
Yeah,
How
the
far
edit
away is
function
that
makes
from-
it always a little squirrely.
Yeah.
It's like a kilometer almost.
All these facts come directly from my head as it views other internet sites.
The Wikipedia.com part
1.2.
comes from your head?
1.2? Roger. Thank you.
This was the meteorology glossary of America.
Really?
So
Mhm.
probably you'll go up
That's
a slope, and those are 5-meter contours, though.
It's also known
Yeah,
as the
indeed.
Cromwell
I'll
current
double check that, but I think I just did.
in the Pacific.
5-meter contours, yeah.
So there's a really
It's maybe like a 0.3
interesting
upslope.
weather website
Depends
called
on what Steve wants.
windy.com.
Windy?
Yeah,
Yeah, I always
it used
find
to
it
be
0.2 to be-
windy.tv.com.
With the frequency that we were sampling,
If you pull that up now
True.
and punch
And
in
stuff.
our coordinates,
0.2 gave us a little more,
It
so we'll see
will.
about that.
Okay, that's a good
Uh,
Well,
one.
let's see
possibly give you-
what that looks like. 0.2.
it's been really accurate for
going 1.2.
local weather in remote places. So it grabs a bunch of different
3.5 hours.
data from wherever
Yeah.
it can and
Okay. Sounds
jams
good.
that through some pretty flash software.
So Steve, I have a question for you.
Sure.
So as we kind of go up the slope in order to get to waypoint 2, are we going to be doing the same thing we've been doing before, taking opportunistic samples and kind of snap-ins on imagery, or what's your thought process for what we're going to be doing?
Yeah, we're going to be doing pretty much the same thing. I think we'll try and get some opportunistic rock samples, at least a few. maybe on the slope, and then we'll get a couple of rock samples. We'll leave a couple of potential rock samples for the cones on top of the seamount towards waypoints 3 and 4. But yeah, opportunistic sampling and scooting.
Roger. Okay. Thank you.
Is that accurate on your utility?
Seems.
Your
Yeah.
the number you have plugged in there, 1420.
Oh yeah, 1420 is accurate. Correct. Do you mind turning on your sub bottom?
So the slopes here probably aren't as dramatic as we're used to on the other
like
sites.
200 meters.
So they should be more
On
manageable.
that guy.
We were estimating slopes in the range of 20 to 30 degrees
What's that
for
fish?
the steepest portions.
It's gone now.
We are going to kind of set down, or we intended on setting down closer to a flat part of the slope and then moving up. But wherever we set down, we'll just go upslope from there, kind of perpendicular to the contours.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah, I'm heading the ship over there to where we wanted to start.
How's surface currents doing?
Half a knot and 12 knots of wind.
Mm-hmm. A fine equatorial
so
day.
many buttons to push.
Talking to everyone now?
What does that do?
And just force talks us to their ears, but we can turn off SPL then and still force talk them.
Yeah. So we
Sorry,
can,
if you what?
We can turn off SPL and then still force talk the back row.
Oh, I see.
so they have to listen to everything you say.
They don't have to, but
No, they do.
They
They
do.
do.
they're forced to.
They're forced to
yeah.
listen to you.
Yeah, don't typically do the force talk everybody. I just,
Yeah, for the front row.
they can have side conversations without you talking in their ear.
It's true.
So you don't do it? I was just copying Jess,
I
not
mean,
knowing what I was
usually
doing.
I go like this, and
Yeah.
then I'm force talking you three always.
Right.
But I wanted to talk to Steve as we get set up, so. I think
As long as
Steve's
he-
on other side 1 or side 2.
Yeah, as long as Steve's listening to you, you don't have to force talk him.
It's true.
Copy.
Now, as long as he's listening to SPL, which you're talking on, then
Hey, Dan, you want to give me the porch there? If you don't mind.
Kind of happy watching the gauges. What are you worried about bashing into the bottom, are you? 600
getting set
meters
up.
away?
600. We're more like 800 meters. but-
800. Oh, I told you I failed horribly at math. So tend to generalize in hundreds of meters.
All right, guys. People are getting real confused. They're going, I hear a voice, but I don't know who that is. So we should
people are
Yeah.
writing in
Leave
from
them
all
yeah,
in
over
this
the-
all over the
mystery.
world.
Who's talking?
Dan, you want to slow up a little bit there now?
So let's
Roger.
Slow
Slow
it
it
down a bit.
let's try to get some
2.6.
introductions in before we make it to the bottom and see all kinds of stuff everywhere.
We have 800 meters to go.
We'll talk slowly.
All right, who goes first this time?
I'll go first
Okay.
because last time I went last and it made me sad. So we'll start over here.
Okay.
I'm Justin Richards. I am the Science Communication Fellow and the share of jokes that come across from your questions. I'm from Spartanburg, South Carolina. If you tune in after midnight, I'll try to do a Midwestern accent just to mix things up. But if the rest of you give us your name, what you do, and let's try something interesting again. I know you guys can do it.
Something interesting about ourselves?
Uh,
Or what
yeah,
type
just
of...
just tell us something interesting. I don't care if it's about yourself, how you got here, something you've experienced in your life, something you saw. We'll keep it real broad because we have 800 meters.
I like it.
Hi.
Go ahead.
Hello, my name is Emily Ballard. I'm one of the video engineers on board. An interesting fact about me. I'm trying to think of one I didn't tell anyone.
Secrets. I like secrets.
Yeah, I mean, I said this one last night, but it was kind of in the bunch of conversation, so it didn't really get said. But yeah, I did a semester abroad in England, and I ended my trip by going to the royal wedding.
Of course.
How
was that?
It was really fun. I was actually inside of the, not inside the chapel, but like right outside of it. And it was really cool because I got to see absolutely everyone. And it was great because one of my brother's favorite actors is Idris Elba, and he was there. And so I got a picture of him. And and I sent it to my brother, and I go, hee hee. And so, yeah, it was really cool though. Yeah, it was a great way to end my time in England.
Sounds like we have very similar lives.
Definitely.
Hey, Dan. All right, Dan, tell us about all the royal weddings you've been to. And
good morning or afternoon, wherever you are. My name's Dan. I'm an ROV pilot. I'm sitting in the Argus chair. Interesting things. So, I started traveling abroad. So maybe that's the subject.
There we go.
Traveling abroad. Yeah.
Started traveling. In 1994, I found myself on a plane to Norway, Stavanger, Norway. And I was reading a really good paperback, and the stewardess came and told me to put that paperback down and look out the window. You're in Norway now. Which I did. And yeah, it was just a magical place to be. It's very similar to the Pacific Northwest, lots of fjords, and beautiful summers, lots of boats. So that was my first real trip over the pond, or anywhere really besides the Pacific Northwest. But I became hooked, and since then I've been all over the planet numerous times. I've been to Southeast Asia, I've been to Australia, New Zealand, China, Japan, Africa, lots and lots of interesting places. I was trying to think of one that really stood out, but I can't come up with anything at the moment that's like super interesting about that one particular place.
Right. And this is always why we should start with Dan. Let's go with that most interesting place that you've been.
That would be Ukraine for me.
Ukraine.
Ooh, what is he? Sideways fish.
Stunfish.
I think that's you, Jess.
All right, my name's Jess Sandoval. I'm sitting Herc. Interesting place or just interesting fact?
I think
Instead of talking about geckos.
Well, you can tell us about geckos and then tell us about travel.
Oh, okay. Well, I had this talking about geckos because they have really interesting hairs that they're able to attach to surfaces with. But now, okay, let's not keep with the theme anymore.
Where's
no,
some of the?
One. That's
where are some of the strangest places you've seen geckos?
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Oh, I haven't seen too many geckos around. Only in the usual places, the usual suspects. Interesting place to have visited. I did some field research in Volcan Copahue over in Argentina, and that was a couple of years ago. We were collecting acidophilic bacteria, acidophiles, and
Where is that in Argentina?
it's going to the south of Argentina, and it's right along the border of Chile, Argentina, and yeah, so that was beautiful. You'd hike in a couple miles up the volcano, and it was actually at a time when the volcano had just erupted, so most people weren't allowed out there, but our permits allowed us, if we wanted to, risk another eruption to go and collect our samples. So yeah, I double bagged my feet with plastic bags every morning, and my boss ate a stick of butter before we go out. And
a stick of butter?
Yeah, it keeps you warm, and yeah, so that's probably an interesting place I've traveled to for some field work.
Did you get any rocks? I know some people are interested in volcanoes.
No, we didn't take any rocks. We only took bacteria. But
The bacteria live on the rocks.
it's true. It's true.
Subsample.
I'll have to go back there again.
Still on my bucket list.
If you love hiking volcanoes, I recommend Costa Rica. A lot of volcanoes. I think 3 in a day you can do. So.
I can do all kinds of things, but that doesn't mean I'm going to.
Rennie, knife turns to you.
Rennie is my name. I'm sitting in the navigator seat. And I've been to a lot of interesting places. I travel a lot off season and also, you know, on the ship, you know, getting from place to place and getting left somewhere. But I'll go with the theme that just what are these interesting little white and black fish that we're seeing?
Not sure any.
I'll go with the theme that just started. My thesis research, one of the project locations was in Argentina as well. I was also on the Chilean-Argentine border, but I was farther north, north of Mendoza, and I was working with terrestrial LiDAR before I ever did any sonar work. And so I was working there at 4,000 meters elevation, and now we can work down to 4,000 meters depth. So
Wow.
kind of flipped my my research area.
That's poetic, Rennie.
And
You've turned your world upside down, right?
yeah, air was thin up there. You get cranky at your instruments quicker. It's altitude sickness, but yeah, it's a beautiful area. Looking at rock glaciers.
That sounds beautiful.
Yeah, that was my main project. I had some other side projects. One was up in the Arctic and off of Barrow, Alaska. We were on the sea ice measuring thickness. That was another cool location. Super cold. It's like got off the plane. It was with wind chill. It was minus 50 degrees, which is very cold.
Yeah.
Where's that?
Sounds like a winter in Ithaca.
Antarctic?
Barrow, Alaska.
Oh,
yeah,
up north.
Yeah. Which has now been renamed to Utkalvik. Utkalvik.
Interesting.
Yeah, they
So-
went back to the traditional name.
Did you camp on the ice?
We stayed in Quonset huts. There's an old Navy research base there, Naval Arctic Research Lab. And we stayed there, but during the day we were out, so we had some tents with generators and warm up every once in a while. But we took the snow machines out on the ice and we're out there for, you know, the whole day for a few weeks. But it was nice. We weren't staying out there, you know, overnight.
Sounds like an incredible experience.
It's an incredibly cold experience. It was very peaceful there.
Also on my bucket list, yet to experience Alaska.
Yeah, so having flown over a lot of it, it's beautiful, but so desolate. And North Slope, Alaska is really quite different obviously from the rest of it. I'd like to explore a bit of Anchorage, Fairbanks, Juneau, things that, you know, just see how diverse that area is. We went in spring because that's the time when you see the sea ice. It's still daylight to do work, and then my ice hasn't melted. But so we're gaining 20 minutes of daylight a day. So over the 3 or 4 weeks I was there, it was a completely different amount of daylight.
Have you ever read Never Cry Wolf?
No.
Farley Mowat. He has a couple books. He basically goes up there and camps and studies the wolves. He camps through the, I think he did one winter up there finally.
Yeah, seems it's very cold. In retrospect, I'm remembering it through rose-colored glasses, but at the time I remember being very concerned if I would have my toes or fingers at the end of the day. Because you still have to operate instrumentation, so you have to take your glove off and go press buttons and then put it back in, you know.
Turns to the back row there, Steve.
All right, we'll do the back row now. Good afternoon, good morning, everyone. My name is Steve Voskovich. I am the watch lead for 12 to 4, and I am a PhD candidate at Temple University. I'm also one of the lead scientists on this cruise and specializing in biology. My field focuses on ecology and biogeography of deep water corals, many of which we've seen on seamounts in the past few dives, past few days. Hoping to see a lot more. But I think interesting places I've been are probably been on a boat or probably for academic conferences. This is the third unit of the Pacific Remote Islands Marine National Monument I've been into, so I guess that's kind of an accomplishment. Maybe I'll go visit all of the units one day. But yeah, I would say, you know, the middle of the Pacific Ocean is pretty exotic.
In the middle at the bottom.
In the bottom.
Well, kind of.
In spirit.
Hey,
Argus should be about 10 meters upslope of you.
Upslope. Danger, danger.
Danger, danger, once we get down there.
Roger.
Hi, I'm Jen Humphreys. I'm a
I
second.
can't hear you that well.
Wait, I'm holding. Can you hear me? I'm still holding my mic up to
Yeah.
like my mouth.
Maybe I'm just not listening to you loud enough. There you go. I have you turned up now.
All right. Is that better?
Yep.
It is.
Okay, cool. Hey everybody, I'm Jen Humphreys. I'm a second year grad student at University of California, Riverside. I study igneous petrology and geochemistry, so volcanic rocks are what I really like. As for interesting places that I've been to, I did a field school up in the Kamchatka Peninsula in Russia, so very, very, very far to the east. It's like 2 peninsulas above the Korean Peninsula.
Wow.
And we did that the end of the summer. It was really cool. Like, it was really wonderful weather the whole
Zoom
time.
on the fish? Or,
Oh, sorry, go ahead. Yeah, it might be out of the...
Yeah.
Oh,
That's all right. I've seen a ton of them this time.
Yeah,
Bicolored.
Don't know what they are.
Yeah. They're pretty large bodied for being midwater fishes.
Yeah, you keep seeing them in Argus.
Yeah.
Herc's rocketing down at 30 meters a minute, so it's going to be a very brief glimpse.
so we got a camp on the side of volcanoes, and we saw quite a few Kamchatka brown bears. They would thankfully run the other direction from us as our group was hiking up and down the volcanoes. Otherwise, that could have been a very bad day for us.
Camping in a volcano, checking bears out. How cool is that?
Right.
It's pretty cool.
Oh, we can't hear you.
You're not on.
There we go. Hi there, my name is Alicia Dazani. I am currently the data logger for the 12 to 4 shift, and I'm also the science intern aboard this cruise. Let's see, and I've actually, until this cruise, I had never been out of the country before. Never been out of the United States. And we are so far from the United States right now.
It's a slippery
It's
slope,
Arkansas.
man. Watch out, now you're going to be
Someone,
traveling all over.
Careful, it gets in the blood.
Yeah, can't
Except
We're
stop.
still kind of in the United States.
Yes.
Just
Kind
not
of.
contiguous. Yeah.
You'll eventually leave when we hop over to.
Well, you were out of the U.S. for a little bit last night,
Right.
technically.
That's true.
We were in the EEZ of Kiribati. Kiribati.
Transiting our way down between monuments.
And you're about to cross the equator, so there's a different word for when you cross through 00 versus crossing through 180 or 0180, however that works.
Yeah, like over the international date line.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you get a different.
Your golden shellback.
Yeah,
00 is one of the hardest crossings to get. 0180 is what usually people get. 00 is off of Africa somewhere.
it is. But it doesn't really count if you're going south to north. I think it's a different term, isn't it? It's
I
like
have
the
no
tradition
idea.
was north to south.
There's a bunch of crazy. There's a whole Wikipedia page on all the.
Yeah, let
Yeah.
me let me rack my brain for a minute. See if I can come up with something. Just,
There's the
Well, there's
Arctic circles and Antarctic circles have different ones. There's the order of the polar bear and order of the penguin. Crossing the Panama Canal is the order of the ditch. Crossing. Yeah, I think you guys said some of the other ones, so I'm trying to think if there's any more.
I forget what it's called once you do all of them.
cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Old. It's called
Exhausted.
old.
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 Or just really determined.
Or a pirate like Rennie.
The one I was on about pretty close to getting was crossing the equator and the international date line on the vernal equinox, which is called the Order of the Purple Porpoise.
I think we just like reasons to celebrate. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Not much else to celebrate out here except the deep sea and crossing the equator.
I wonder if normal shellbacks have to do it again so they get a golden shellback.
I don't think so.
Depends. If you don't have your paper in your hand aboard, technically
I have mine.
I do not have mine.
Oh.
You need to present your credentials to King Neptune, otherwise you gotta do it
Denied.
again.
Yeah.
Maritime history, law.
I tried to do an electronic copy once.
Yeah.
I had a picture of the paper.
Yeah.
Not good enough.
Didn't work too well.
Denied.
Denied. Ouch.
Suffer the wrath of King Neptune.
Actually, my physical copy might be in my car in Bob's garage.
There you go.
I have a fake.
Pollywog.
I have a. So are you then?
I am. Technically.
So I'm pretty sure is every single person because I don't think anyone brought their certificate back.
Oh, you think
That's
so?
not true. I brought mine.
You brought yours?
Yep.
I'm telling you, if
Every-
you've been through it once, you don't want to do it
don't,
again.
You don't want to not have that
You guys
certificate.
are in for a surprise.
You would think I would learn.
Beware lest you enter King Neptune's domain without his permission.
Oh.
I swear I brought mine.
Suna had someone
This is the false return
ransack
here.
her apartment back in Turkey to get a picture of her certificate.
Really?
Yeah, she was worried. Even though it was on the ship, we were all here. We witnessed Suna cross the equator, but she was concerned.
Well, good. I have access to the all the documents. I can just reprint one.
So
I think the original is signed in blood, isn't it?
Yeah, it is,
I
yeah.
think this is actually a
Good
shadow.
thing I know the captain.
I think it is a shadow.
So I think we might be deeper than 1421.
We'll find out.
Yeah,
Find
you'll
out.
find out. We'll know if your Doppler goes off.
Yeah.
As long as you have your DVL, your Doppler is powered on.
Yeah, it should be. It's on the
It's on the
ROV
startup,
launch.
yeah. That's only happened to me once. where for some reason the Doppler wasn't on and we were looking at it, waiting for it.
Yeah, at 100 meters, I think we'll come off of ludicrous speed and
Yeah.
down to sanity speed.
I think it might be real.
I think it might be real. Yeah, I didn't see the shadow come up this time around though.
Yeah.
It's looking that way. Trending.
Yeah.
Trending towards reality.
Trending
What we
towards
strive
reality.
for.
Surprising.
What's the range on the Argus altimeter again?
I think it's about 80.
And your DVL is like 35, is it?
We've been getting it
No,
at
it's
70
about
sometimes,
70,
yeah.
Yeah?
It used to be around 30, but then I think we switched frequencies or something, or we replaced it.
Oh, you got one of those new fancy multi-frequency ones?
I don't think it's I don't know. Actually, I don't know enough about that instrument on the hardware end.
Me neither. I will make a note to investigate.
Good, and you can transfer that knowledge to me.
PDF cut sheets.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
there's
looking pretty
definitely
real.
access to it. Yeah, we got
We got one beam.
one beam.
Wow, didn't see a shadow this time. I wonder what changed.
Sandy
Alright.
bottom, maybe?
Potentially.
Steve doesn't want to hear that.
Still about 10 meters difference, probably your downslope of Argus.
Roger. Alright. Let's start.
Getting nervous
slow
yet?
From not nervous, just starting to
about
slow
now?
from 30.
Rocketing down at the seafloor.
The blazing speed of 30 meters a minute.
Okay.
Okay, easing off.
Roger. Oh, why this never updates.
I'm going to give you that 10 meter delta, so we'll sacrifice Herc before Argus.
Roger.
So Steve, we've got 3 more dives planned. This one's 16 hours. The next one's going to be very similar.
Yeah, most likely. We have some mapping to do before we can refine that bottom time.
That one's also your friend.
Important
You'll
to
see
get
it
that
there.
mapping done for our next site. But otherwise, yeah, we'll do another short dive and then on to hopefully Jarvis Island, where we'll do an extended dive in excess of about at least 24 hours. We'll see what we can accomplish in that time. And then after that, we'll start our 4-day transit to Pongo Pongo.
So when's the last day of diving?
It'll be, let's see, the 6th, I think.
Okay.
Sure. Remember to stop at round 50 though.
At this point, you're just making sure nothing catastrophic is showing up in these screens.
Yeah, so if you're following along with us, you have about 3 more days of dives with us, and then, like I said, a 5 or 6 day transit, and then followed by the Samoan Clipper dive, if I'm thinking
It's warm
right.
in this corner. It's freezing in that.
I see Mazur.
That should change when we get the new AC up there, probably.
I'm all stopped there, Jess. I'll let you
Right.
Roger.
mosey on and find some mud.
Mosey.
So we're diving to a depth of about 1,500 meters. If you're following along, we are getting very close.
Jess, what's your plan? Are you going to be backing down or what?
Yeah, I'm backing down a little bit.
All right, let me give you a quick reset. All right.
Thanks, Trevor.
So what I did was I gave her a quick, I switched over from USBL to Doppler, dead rec, and I gave her just a quick
Coming down, Jess.
fix to
Actually,
the
you can just stand off there for a moment, and then I'll back
Roger.
up,
a
and you'll
quick
turn around your head.
fix to the USBL, the last USBL ping.
Oh, you want to see
This way
yourself.
she's able to drive a little easier.
Narcissist, I am.
She can now see her line of driving a bit better, but we'll do a
Alright.
full
You should have enough to turn yourself around.
average
Roger,
at the
do you have
bottom.
a preference on the direction?
No, it looks like either way looks good.
Let's see, we're going to go, are we going to go left or right later?
We're gonna go to
Sorry,
the right.
hold on.
So we're gonna go like probably 135.
So if I come counterclock now, then we'll go clock later and take some out.
Yeah, sounds
Does that
good.
sound like a plan?
Sounds
Is
like a plan.
your craft's moving a bit? Is it just the current?
Probably.
Probably the valve's off right now.
Okay,
We should
just
have
double
lit
checking.
it up and we did not.
I lit up the power.
You did? But
Yeah.
how about hydraulics?
I did not do excuse me, hydraulics. We find that if we do at least the connector, then it doesn't jerk around as much. But
Oh yeah.
So it's setting the
Get on
DVL
there,
to a location, and you're setting it to the last USBL ping.
Argus is
And you're
full
switching over
power,
control,
and it's not
so
going
now we're
anywhere.
using the
can give you more slack.
Doppler
I'm
so
gonna
you
come
can see
down a
that
bit more.
track there. And technically she could use auto XY if she wanted to, but she's not, doesn't need to. Different pilots do this different ways. Some like to get to the bottom and then orient. That way you can have a visual of what you're, it's easier to drive around when you see that rock is moving away, you know what I mean? Others do it to be safer. They do it in the midwater a little bit, just off the bottom.
I got no altitude at the moment, so.
Interesting.
That is. Maybe I'm already in the mud.
But you're just at,
I must be higher than 30.
yeah.
But I didn't have anything when I was 200 there. There it is.
So they adjusted their delta from being 0 to now Herc is under. You can see delta, she's under Argus
auto
by
head's
15
on?
meters.
It is.
And she's trying to
your
drive
aft thruster is not
under.
enabled.
Really?
Yeah, down here.
Yeah,
That'll
but
probably
that's
do
going to bounce around.
Oh,
So
I can't get around with
ideally
one
we'd have the
thruster.
down cam, which is not operational right now. But that's looking directly down on
Alright,
Argus,
so
so
now
then
you're
you
gonna
can
change
see
your heading.
Hercules in it.
I'm all over
But,
it.
so now it's a bit more difficult.
Or not. What would you like the heading to be?
3-1.
3-1.
You know
Yeah,
that
it's
that's
about
that pink box
290
heading is
or so.
incorrect.
290.
Yeah, that's not ever correct. So you have to go based on the arrow there.
Yeah.
There we go.
There's
Yes.
the baby.
Digging that.
The
hold it
little
there.
That's good,
the
yeah.
little one, yeah. The
315.
yellow dot is another
Ready?
Ready.
Let's drop it.
heading, another
Coming
sensor,
down.
but the red one is you want to look at. Is the one you want to look at, and then Argus is the other. So now they're
Sorry,
Oh.
too much.
What was that?
That was me. Pulled you too much.
Scaring me.
so if you're descending at this heading, the terrain should be behind you.
Trevor's down there, so I'm going to goose it for
Roger.
a minute. So let him see.
No,
full speed.
that's not Trevor.
Oh, it's not?
That's
So-
Mazur.
Trevor, it's
Oh.
the crew.
Yeah.
I'll stop waiting for you.
Yeah.
Or I can just tilt up. Nice Argus sonar target you got there. Doesn't quite match though.
It does not.
What's up with that?
That could be something on Hercules. that's
Oh, it
causing
could be the
causing a
football.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Football.
What's your
30 meters away? No. That
what do you get on distance on your instruments, Rennie? You get 30 meters?
between these two vehicles?
Yeah.
No, 20 meters.
20 meters.
Wonder what that is. It's been persistent in the water column though, so I don't know.
It's got to be the
Can't
droop
be.
of the tether.
Must be. It can't be Argus.
It's too low for that. It's
Yeah.
20 meters below me. Are you ready? Or you want to
Right,
stretch
for what?
for Argus? Keep coming down.
Oh yeah, please. Please do.
Coming down.
Roger.
I'm with you, Steve. This is by far the most interesting place I've ever been. I've never been here before.
Very few have.
Starting to see bottom in view there.
Yeah.
Alright, it's rocky.
Sigh of relief from the science row.
Totally.
Okay, I'm gonna start this down here. Once bottom's in view, you can go through all this stuff here.
So the hill is
So
on
we
your
have
right.
Yeah.
On bottom.
my right and behind me.
A good one on your right.
Yeah.
Oop.
On the left, turn to face it.
It's rocky-ish, I guess. There's some sediment there.
So why do I
Oops.
not get a number there?
Oh, sure.
So some setting that I'm...
Alright. I'm gonna go down a little bit more, then I want to play with my Z-bias for a bit.
I'll do it.
And then once they do their, when they're gonna go, once they set up and they do the arm, the check, you just kind of ask them to be in auto XY while they're doing that. That way you get their state in one position and you can collect a bunch of USBL hits. I usually turn this down to 2 minutes. So Hercules, USBL down to 2.
Come down a little bit there, Dan. And
Yeah.
2 minutes.
I'm just
Those
gonna
gains, that HF and low F
And that's what I run off of.
gain are what they traditionally are?
Change Argus down to 5 minutes, I think.
looks like I just run with it like basically the standard presets there. That's good on the delta. I just wanted to get not tugging so I could get a proper Z-bias reading.
Roger. I'm comfortable with the sonar. Come right down if you want. Even though it's scary looking on Herc, looks alright on Argus.
Yeah. Stand by. I think I'm set on my Z-bias. Let's double check.
I thought it was Rocky. Someone was saying Rocky.
Right behind us and to the left a bit. I think that's just the tug of Argus, so I think the Z-bias is good for now. All right, Rennie, I'll go into auto XY in a moment.
Thank you.
Let's back up.
So, shall we head off and see what all that yellow and red's about?
Stand by. We're going to reset the DVL real quick. So I'm just in auto XY now.
Yeah, so you guys are going to do the
altitude.
video stuff
Yeah.
now, kill 2 birds with 1 stone?
Yep.
Sure.
Just making sure all my things are holding.
Make it look all purty.
Make it pretty.
Make it pretty. Coming up. Ooh, that's pretty.
Ow, my linear actuator.
Yeah. Jeez Louise.
Yeah, for the craft arm, if you could just put it out farther, more to like where we're gonna be zooming and stuff.
Yep. Sounds good.
Cool.
Somewhere around there, Emily, is what you're thinking?
Yeah, that works.
Okay, go ahead and push in.
Zooming.
Want to do one nudge up. Stand by. Alright, you can push in a bit more there on that.
That's full zoom.
Oh, Roger, want me to bring it in anymore?
Yeah, just a little bit. That'd be nice.
Coming in.
Isn't there some percentage of the screen that you fill to do a white balance?
Well, technically all of it, but like
Really?
we go for our best.
I thought it was some like 70 or something like that.
No, it's all of it. 'Cause the goal is to get a baseline. Alright, that works.
Okay.
Alright,
your
gonna
magic.
go black for a second.
Roger.
Can go. Hello. Black balance. I will go white balance first. And then go black balance. Alright, black balance is not working for some reason. Let's see if it's working on Argus. It's working on Argus.
Do we need
Alright.
to cycle power? So the white balance is complete, Emily?
No.
No, we have to do black balance first.
With the white in the background?
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
I was thinking maybe we sneak up a bit while we're waiting for Wayne.
Do you want me to reset the VL now?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I can wait.
No.
Are we going to wait?
I think so.
Seems like we're waiting.
Then we can do the DVL reset, and then we'll be done. Ready to go.
I could do it now. Doesn't really matter.
Alright,
Yeah.
video, be right back.
All right, so
I'm out of autos.
out of autos. Okay, you're good to go back in.
Roger.
So you want to do that kind of quickly because you're resetting to the position that they're in, and as soon as they come out of auto, they start to drift away from that position.
Actually, if
So
zoom
you
out,
want to, you're
then we can
resetting to,
at least look
you
at
know,
the hillside while we're waiting.
auto XY, yeah.
Thanks.
That gets you a good place to connect in your center on.
You can leave that out there. That's
We,
long as you're
we're
not-
picking the
as
center,
long as
and
you're
then
up high,
we
you're fine.
want to reset the DVL position
I can
to
move it back
that.
over real quick.
And she has to come out of auto XY to do that, or it will jump to, yeah.
We got a question of how often do we have to change the colored tape
As
on
soon
the
as
Predator
you're-
arm?
Yes.
Does
Well,
it last
you don't
a
have to
pretty
go
long
right back
time?
into it, but it's good
It
to test
depends
it.
on,
And usually what
how
they're doing
Western
is
we
they'll
get
want to
with
go
the
right
arm.
back into it. They don't have to go back in.
Yep,
If
there's
we're
What's
rubbing
this?
the tape off,
There's one of those
We're
vertical
really-
fish.
really Western.
yeah.
What are those
We're
vertical
breaking it.
fish called, Steve?
Vertical fish, sorry?
Yeah, dead ahead. They sit up in the water column.
Oh
all
yeah,
vertical.
whalefish maybe. We'll see. There's other fishes that do vertical.
Yeah.
I don't have enough leash for
Yeah,
that
we
one,
don't
sorry
have
guys.
yeah.
Alright, we can look and see what's on the
There's some
sand.
shark. Yeah, there's a shark down there.
Yeah, let's go look. Or rather, I don't have a leash for that shark, but I have a leash for a fish. Is that of interest? There's a little sea pen coral thing behind us.
Anything. You know, we're just kind of hanging out.
Yeah, I kind of feel like we should push on. We can always stop to do a white balance.
Wayne's on his way.
You can also do.
Oh, here he is.
You can do a recall of your last one from the last
Wayne
dive.
has arrived.
It will be close,
Yeah.
close enough for science, as we say.
Wayne, you good?
Wayne's gonna take over.
Sure. Yeah, most likely there. Alright, Wayne, you can go ahead and push in there.
Okay, pushing in.
Stand by.
Okay. That looks good. Thanks.
Yep.
Okay, going dart.
Sure.
Stand by.
Roger.
I could just turn the monitor off and then back on again. Do you think that'll? It's good. Black balance.
Black balance. Is there anywhere going to be going upslope at what's
We will indeed, yeah. We'll be going approximately 115.
115.
Actually,
What this? I want to change my heading about. We're going 115. Doo -doo -doo. Is that jumpiness from the thruster wash?
Yay.
We got a ground fault on you there. Do you have the edge tech enabled?
I do. Just testing.
Ah.
Good eye. Thank you.
There's a ground
Standing
fault on the
by.
edge tech.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been there.
for seemingly forever.
It's going to be an issue on the next.
Yeah.
Next leg. Anyway.
It's not a hard ground fault. It's just 2 meg.
Do you have a threshold at which you start to be concerned?
Anything under a meg.
And that goes for all your AC, DC on Herc and Argus?
No, for DC stuff, you know, it's 24 volts, you got a 1 mega ohm resistor in there. It's not going to catch fire.
Yeah.
For the AC stuff, I would start to get worried under 10 meg. So the red just happens to be the alarm level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you got 2 meg there and it flashes red.
Yeah.
It hasn't changed from 2 meg. It's pretty solid at 2 meg. So
Mm-hmm.
one way to alleviate that would be to change the threshold of the green to red to 1.999.
Yeah.
It should, you would think it would turn orange at 2 and red at 1 or something like that, but depends
Yeah.
on who wrote the software. It's nice to have 5, but you can live with 2.
Everything seems to be set okay with the controller. It's in a mode where it should be black balancing and white balancing, but I don't have any control over a few things that should be functioning.
So I see 2 options. One way, recycle power to the camera and see if it comes back. The other one is if you have in memory a previous white balance.
That's part of the panel that's not working.
Okay.
None of those buttons are functioning at the moment.
So
I can cycle power to the HD. That's
yeah, I don't. That should reestablish comms to the black box there.
Yeah, if that's an option, let's
It is.
go ahead and do that.
cycling now.
Count of
Thank you.
10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
Yeah, it's
4,
been 10 seconds
3.
by now. 2, 1.
So that reestablished comms to your black box there.
I'm not sure yet. I'm giving it a second.
There are so many buttons on this box that
sure.
Wayne is playing with.
Okay, I
You have to have a PhD in video to figure out
I have
what
iris
do what.
control.
If
And
you want,
I have,
if you want, Dan,
I
we
have
can start
control
turning
over
your
the
head to
color
135.
correction. Those
So we're ready
those
to go.
buttons work. I'm attempting black now.
Roger.
115.
Still no.
115. Oh, Roger. Thank you. Randy.
Yep.
The wrong way.
Yeah, there's a section of buttons here that are not working.
So you could
No.
also swap the controllers.
I could try that.
Or maybe just unplugging it and plugging it back in.
Yeah,
it's just
might be step
should
1.
be the same as power.
If you're going to switch them anyway, might as well power it
Yeah,
off and then.
let's- Okay, stand by.
Sitting by.
We're bystanders.
Oh, there's a lot of buttons on this box.
Okay. Let's see.
Should you power off the camera while he plugs that in? All right, or not.
Stand by.
It might piss the camera off. We might have to cycle power again on the HD camera, or not. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I can turn it off just to be safe.
Oh, okay.
It's probably a good idea, Wayne. It might have some parameters
okay.
from the other one stuck in there. I want to do the same on Argus.
No, Argus was fine. Argus was 100%. Was 100% before swapping boxes. Stand by.
Standing by.
Yeah, whenever you're ready to come up. I'm ready.
Ah, it just irised.
Sorry, I bumped it.
Yeah, you also zoomed in there if you can move the slider back.
Okay, you can power on.
Actually, oh, this isn't good.
We have power off on the HD camera
Yeah, we
right
have
now.
power off on the HD. You want it
Yeah,
on?
but Argus isn't zooming.
Didn't you just focus it? Isn't that the focus?
No,
So-
I have iris.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
the zoom.
One thing at a time, guys. Let's
Okay.
focus
Yeah,
on
I got it. I got it.
the Herc.
Yep.
So power on the Herc HD camera.
Thank you.